let's check out some fan mail. Let's see here. Ooh, here's a good one. Dear ERod, I love your show. Now what the do you have against Superman Returns? That is the greatest Superman movie ever made. Do you even notice the amazing cinematography, or were your eyes stapled shut, you dumb Hugs and kisses, Amen. Well, that was passionate. Alright, let me just read another one. Dear Buster, if you say one more negative thing about Punisher Warzone, I swear to God I will castrate you with a fork. Your fan, Johnny Horror. Damn, people really do take what I say to heart. When will people understand that everybody likes at least one bad movie? I guess it's time for me to fess up. Roll my intro! In a world of uncertainty, where movie theaters are plagued by remakes and sequels, in a world where big budget movies can still suck, in this world we have the Blockbuster Buster. Greetings fanboys and fangirls, I'm ERod and I'm the Blockbuster Buster. Movies are like paintings. Not everybody who looks at them appreciates them the same way. And while I might be a boisterous objector of bad cinema, there are a few bad movies that I do enjoy. So here are my top 10 guilty pleasures. Number 10! Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze. Now I know what you're thinking, why not Ninja Turtles Part 1? Well, I will forever defend the first Ninja Turtles film as a good movie. At a casual glance, it might appear to be a silly children's martial arts film. But if you actually sit down and watch it, you will find that it's actually a story of 4 immature brothers who learn responsibility after the loss of their father. Part 2 has none of these redeeming qualities. It's just idiotic fun. The Shredder somehow survives being crushed by a dump truck and then wants revenge, so he cooks up a scheme so idiotically elaborate that he makes the Two-Face from Batman Forever look sensible. But that's nothing. The one scene in this movie that lives in infamy is at the end of the movie, when the Turtles are fighting the Foot in a dance club and Vanilla Ice makes up a ninja rap.
Yo, it's the Green Machine, gonna rock the town without being seen.
Now I'm going to repeat this for all of you young folks who didn't grow up in the 80s and don't understand the gravity of these words. The whitest rapper in the history of rap, who only had one hit his entire career, pretends to make up a rap song at the spur of the moment. Now I've always wondered why they put this in the movie, and after years of pondering, I think I finally come up with an answer to this conundrum. The act of Vanilla Ice being that creative at the drop of a hat is so incredible it actually makes anthropomorphic talking turtles look plausible. So on behalf of Ninja Turtle fans everywhere, thank you Vanilla Ice for bringing credibility to our movie.
10 flips now. And remember, go ninja, go ninja, go!
Number 9. Super Mario Brothers. Now this is one that a lot of people hate with every fiber of their being. And every time I ask anyone why they hate it, they always say the same thing. Cause it's nothing like the video game. Well, let's analyze that for a moment. The video game is about 2 Italian plumbers that travel to another world and rescue a princess from a dragon. Plumbers, other world, princess, Dennis Hopper? Okay, they really did fuck that up. Okay, but 3 out of 4 ain't bad. But my favorite aspect is Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo. They have a chemistry and a camaraderie that seems genuine, and they really do come off like they've known each other for years. In fact, one of the saddest things that I found out as a grown-up was the set was so chaotic, and there were so many disputes between the director and the producer, that Hoskins and Leguizamo would have to get severely drunk to get through a day's work. Ironically, it was this misery that cemented their friendship. In fact, I told you never to talk about that shit.
I'm back. Love those plumbers.
Number 8. Masters of the Universe. Now, it's really hard to justify this movie. It's really campy and silly, and some of the effects didn't age very well. So why do I like it? Cause it was the first movie I ever saw in a movie theater, and as a child it was the movie that inspired me to make my own movies. But don't get me wrong, I can take my nostalgia goggles off and freely admit to the fact that this is one extremely cornball action movie. About a man that fights the forces of evil in a pair of Speedos. I mean, would it kill him to throw on a pair of pants for just one scene? Now, whether you love or hate this movie, you have to admit, Frank Langella as Skeletor is fucking awesome. He has some of the best villain lines I've ever heard.
And possesses that key. I must possess all, or I possess nothing.
Good journey. Number 7. The Phantom. For those of you who don't know, The Phantom is based on a 1930s comic strip by Lee Falk. Way before Superman made it onto the scene, The Phantom was one of the first costume adventures to be published in the States. Like Batman, he has no powers. He relies on myth and superstition to maintain his anonymity. The difference is that while Batman sticks to Gotham City, the Phantom is a global hero. He goes where he's needed. Now, not only is the movie loyal to the plot of the comic strip, but it actually takes place in the 1930s. That's right, they didn't ass-rape the source material by modernizing it. So why does this movie suck? 2 words, Treat Williams. My god, is he fucking horrible in this movie. He delivers all of his dialogue like a radio announcer.
Alert your officers. Tell them there's a madman on the loose. He's armed and extremely dangerous. Shoot on sight. My name is Xander Drax.
Want?
Xanderdrax. Xander Drax.
And as you guys know, a hero's only as good as his villain. Other than that, it's a fun flick with awesome stunts and one of the greatest superhero accessories ever seen on the big screen. Oh yeah! Slam Evil! Number 6. Big Trouble in Little China. Now this movie is the very definition of the guilty pleasure, as it has one of the most far-fetched and idiotic plots ever written for the simple purpose of leading to some of the most awesome scenes ever captured on film. Big Trouble follows Jack Burton, a trucker who gets caught in the middle of a secret war between good and evil. There's an ancient demon who's looking to come back to power by marrying a green-eyed virgin, and what is Jack's main goal in the movie?
My truck!
That's right, Jack's truck gets jacked and he wants it back. Now that's hilarious, and Kurt Russell does a fantastic job of playing one of the most incompetent heroes in cinema history.
Bad to the bone.